Can you still remember the 50s, 60s, and 70s? Let's test your memory with 45 throwback questions. Keep track and share your score at the end. Let's get started. Which TV show featured the characters Archie and Edith Bunker? The correct answer is B, All in the Family. Which dance craze became wildly popular in the early 1960s? That was A, the twist. What did students often carry their books in during the 1950s? It was D, belted straps. Which actor played the role of the Duke in many classic westerns? The answer is D, John Wayne. Which US president said, "Ask not what your country can do for you"? It was C, John F. Kennedy. What household item often sat on top of the TV set in the 1950s and 60s? The answer is C, a TV antenna. Can you guess what this TV show was called? The answer is The Lone Ranger. Which sugary breakfast cereal introduced in 1973 featured a ghost mascot and blueberry flavor? It was A, Boo Berry. Which actress was known as America's sweetheart during the silent film era? It was B, Mary Pickford. What calculator-like device was commonly used in classrooms before electronic calculators became affordable in the 1960s to 70s? The answer is A, a slide rule. What car was known as the People's Car and became iconic in the 1960s and 70s? That's right, C, the Volkswagen Beetle. Guess the name of this toy. It's called Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Complete this famous 1960s counterculture phrase from Timothy Leary. Turn on, tune in. The answer is B, Dropout. Who famously performed the Star-Spangled Banner at Woodstock in 1969? That's correct. It was D, Jimi Hendrix. Which war ended in 1945? That was B, World War II. Guess the name of this TV show. This is The Andy Griffith Show. Which UK TV show featured puppets on strings and had an international rescue theme? That was B, Thunderbirds. Which 1950s invention allowed users to view 3D images through circular photoreels? The answer is B, the Viewmaster. Which famous baseball player broke Babe Ruth's home run record in 1974? It was A, Hank Aaron. What was the name of the popular portable radio format that became a teenage status symbol in the 1960s? It was D, a transistor radio. Which toy launched in the early 1950s used magnetic shavings to style a bald cartoon character's face? The answer is C, Wooly Willy. What is this called? The answer is a spirograph. Which band released the album A Night at the Opera in the 1970s? The answer is C, Queen. Which popular fast food chain was founded by Ray Kroc in 1955? The correct answer is C, McDonald's. Which post-war European children's book featured a small bear found at a train station with a note saying, "Please look after this bear"? It was A, Paddington Bear. Do you recognize this TV show? The answer is Lassie. Which artist recorded a legendary live album at Folsom Prison in 1968? That was C, Johnny Cash. Which milk-based drink was famously advertised in the 1950s and often delivered with milk? The answer is B, Ovaltine. Do you remember the name of this toy? Yeah, these were called Weebles. Which international sporting event was boycotted by several Western countries in 1980? The answer is C, Summer Olympics. What popular dance music genre emerged from US clubs in the late 1970s? The correct answer is B, disco. Which American brand introduced the first frozen TV dinner in 1953? That was C. Swanson and Son. What was the name of the phone operator played by Lily Tomlin on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In? The answer is A. Ernestine. Guess the name of this TV show. The correct answer is Perry Mason. Which artist painted the famous Campbell's soup cans? That was C. Andy Warhol. Which band from Sweden won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974 with Waterloo? You got it, it was B. ABBA. What kind of hat was commonly worn by men in the 1940s and 50s? The answer is D. The fedora. In December 1953, Queen Elizabeth II became the first reigning monarch to visit which country? It was A. New Zealand. What is this called? It's a record adapter for a 45. What was the name of the TV show that featured the phrase, "Book 'em, Dano"? That was from D, Hawaii Five-0. What candy, popular in the 1950s, came with a comic strip inside the wrapper? It was A, Bazooka Joe gum. Do you know the name of this TV show? This here is Bonanza. Which comic book series, popular globally in the 60s and 70s, followed a young Belgian reporter and his dog? The answer is B, Tintin. Which TV series debuting in 1966 starred William Shatner as Captain Kirk? The correct answer is B, Star Trek. What were these two used together for? You would use the pencil to manually rewind the cassette tape. Tell me in the comments how many of these questions you got correct and which decade was your favorite. Click the thumbs up if you would go back there in a heartbeat. Thank you so much for playing.